Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we've got something really cool for all the Stephen King fans out there. You know, the guy who's probably the reason you're creeped out by small towns, haunted hotels, or clowns. Yeah, that guy. His stories just stick with you, probably because they feel way too close to real life sometimes. And today, we're diving into one of the deeper concepts from his Dark Tower series, a mysterious force called Ka. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's break it down. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The Dark Tower series. Alright guys, if you've never heard of the Dark Tower series, let me introduce it to you. It's one of Stephen King's most mind-bending series with amazing stories. There are themes from multiple genres in this series. It has horror, sci-fi, dark fantasy, and even western. If you want a more relatable explanation, it's like a mix of Lord of the Rings with a flavor of Clint Eastwood's westerns, mixed with what King does best: surrealism, fantasy, and horror, of course. The series follows a gunslinger, Roland Deschain, who's going on a quest to reach the Dark Tower. Now, Roland is the last of the line of Arthur Eld, which is his world's version of King Arthur. The world he lives in is a feudal society, and it's similar to the Old West both socially and technologically, but it's also magical. The Dark Tower, which he seeks to find, is the intersection of all the universes. The world Roland comes from is slowly coming apart, and has been termed as moved on. Many nations of that time have been torn apart, or vanished, and even time doesn't pass in an orderly way. He goes through many dimensions across his way, battling various evils. This series has many connections to other works of King, even famous series like The Shining, It, Insomnia, Black House, and many more are connected to the series. The mysterious force of Ka. In the Dark Tower series, there's a force greater than magic. It's more powerful than any villain, and inescapable no matter how hard you fight it to get away. It's called Ka, and if you're caught in its web, well, let us just say that your path has already been written. This is a force that leads all the creatures in this book. It's compared with fate or destiny and is basically the will of Gan, who's like a godlike entity. In Egyptian mythology, Ka is described as the life force of a person. Gan is the living embodiment of the dark power, who spun the universe from his navel, and he manifests himself in the form of the tower. Whatever happens in this universe happens because of Ka. You cannot say Ka is good or evil. It works both ways, and it doesn't seem like it has any kind of morality. It's kind of like a guide and a destination, but it's not a plan that mortals seem to know. Ka cannot be defined as just one thing. It has many forms and influences many people. It's basically a wheel that has one purpose, and that is to turn. The ways in which it works can be obstructed by people, maybe even postponed, but it always wins in the end. If you look at the official Dark Tower site, Ka is described as destiny and duty. It also seems to signify consciousness and life force. Another thing it represents is a place that every person must go. From Katet, the bonds that tie people together, to Ka's wheel, the idea that history and fate are doomed to repeat themselves. This mysterious force is at the heart of everything in King's Dark Tower universe. In fact, in the time in which this story is set, the universe itself seems to be crumbling. So it's not like Ka or even Gan are protecting the world, but the idea of Ka is a belief in the existence of a higher force, a higher being. It is a way to say everything happens for a reason and put our trust in an outside force so we don't have to take responsibility for all of our action. The idea that another force out there is the driving force behind things takes the blame away. Concepts that involve Ka. Let's get started with the idea of Katet. Katet is the belief that a group of people are bound by Ka for a shared purpose. It goes beyond friendship or coincidence. It means something deeper, something that is inevitable. Roland's Katet includes himself, Eddie, Susanna, Jake, and Oi, who may seem like random travelers who joined his quest, but it was Ka that bound them together for reasons beyond their control. Breaking the bond that Ka creates always comes with a price. In the Dark Tower series, characters use high speech, which is their ancient ceremonial language that is used in the fictional midworld. This is the language of gunslingers, unlike low speech, which is used in everyday interaction. High speech is also what was used for magic and rituals. There are many phrases in high speech that use the word Ka. Let me explain some of them to you. First up, we have Ka-babbies. Sounds cute, right? Well, it's a term that is used to describe the young Katet members. Katel, which sounds very similar to our Katet, is a word that denotes apprentice gunslingers. Kami refers to a Ka, wise man, and Ka-mai is the opposite, Destiny's fool. Usually, Ka-mais are often miraculously saved by luck, but this only happens for a short period. When Ka grows tired of their antics, they're thrown out to fend for themselves. Another interesting word is Kashun, used to describe a feeling that a Katet is going to break soon. Katets can usually only be broken either by betrayal or death, so it's like a feeling of impending doom. Kashum is also usually a price that those who divert Ka pay. Examples of Ka's influence in the Dark Tower series. Let's take Roland. His journey is driven by an urge to pursue the Dark Tower. The instinct he has to chase the Man in Black shows how his actions are not his own, but are driven by Ka. This decision to chase the Man in Black sets out a series of choices to show his struggle against the force of Ka. Throughout the series, Roland is presented with dilemmas that involve him choosing between his personal attachments and his quest. Roland meets Jake Chambers at the way station in the Midworld. Jake dies because he's pushed into oncoming traffic by a Man in Black. Jake nurses Roland back to health, and Roland, in turn, promises to find the Man in Black. When Roland meets the Man in Black, he's presented with two choices: either save Jake or get answers to all his questions. Roland chooses the latter. Ka influences him to prioritize his mission over Jake, whom Roland treats like a son. Later on, when Roland goes through the mind of a serial killer, Jack, he discovers that Jack is the Man in Black. By stopping Jake from being killed, Roland creates a time paradox. Because of his interference, Jake lives, and both characters possess memories of two lives, the one where Jake died and the one where he lived. So basically, Jake can remember all the events leading up to his death, and also the event that took place when he did not die. Roland brings back Jake despite all the risks involved because he's part of his quartet, and they have a strong bond. Their fates are intertwined, and this is what makes him choose to bring Jake back. The cyclical nature of Roland's journey also shows the role of Ka in shaping and determining his fate. The concept of history repeating itself is shown in the way Roland is confronted with similarly repetitive challenges until he learns from them. Ultimately, at the end of the series, Roland reaches the Dark Tower, his lifelong goal, but to his horror, he realizes that it's not the first time he's reached the tower. He's been stuck in a cycle of journeys, all of which result in him aiming to reach the tower but with altered memories and perspectives, effectively trapped in Ka's wheel. Marvelous verdict. Well, with that guys, we've come to the end of yet another marvelous video. King's Dark Tower universe is full of mystery, one of which would be if Ka is just an endless cycle that our characters cannot seem to escape. If it were up to you, how would you describe what Ka is? Do you believe in the idea of fate? Do you think quartet could be a concept that exists? If yes, do you have any stories of why you have this belief? Let us talk more about this in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this concept. And if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Thanks for watching.